Today's video is in partnership with BlockFi. It is the future of finance. If you are looking for a platform where you can earn daily rewards, go and check BlockFi out. You can get up to 7.5% APY. You can borrow cash and you can even buy or sell crypto within their platform. So go ahead, check out blockfi.com. Hello, welcome back to Operation Crypto and welcome to a new video about Vechain. We're going to do some price analysis and have a look at some key levels on both the USDT and the BTC pairings, and have a look at some areas that we could use as an investment opportunity or a trading position, and then we'll have a look at some key areas of resistance which we need to break through or use as a take profit region. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed, that you hit that like button, and let's crack on. Right, so let's get started. We'll just take a look at Bitcoin to begin with before we jump into Vechain, because Bitcoin ultimately is the market leader, and whatever way that is swinging, usually the altcoins are doing the same thing, unfortunately, but that's the way it is, and that's the way we like to start these videos off. So Bitcoin, we did break out of this range. We was pretty much range bound down all the way down to this yearly open. We slapped at 28,800 mark, and then look at this, we double bottomed here and then pushed right up. I think we had about 9 or 10 days worth of green candles if you was over in the US. Over in the UK we didn't quite get that, but we did break out of this range, which was a bullish sign, but we've rejected back into it. So 42k was quite a tough area to break through. If you look at that wick around there, it was around 43k, so in and around the area we have dropped. For me, I think now we are going to stay above this moving average 50 on the daily time frame. The only reason we would go below it is potentially a wick. I do not believe that we'll get any closures below this. So you're talking 36,500. In my opinion, I do not think we will get a daily close below that moving average 50. Might get some wicks, maybe pick up 35k if it does continue down. But that is just the bearish side of it. I mean, if we're looking in, if we're looking Fibonacci levels at this entire move to the upside, we had no pullback on the way down. So you'd expect us to potentially tap this region here at 37487, or maybe potentially come down to pretty much this moving average at 36330 or 3500, which is an EQ, that central range. But we're broken out that range now. I'm hoping that we can do something like this. We've done this major move to the upside, test this area or this moving average before we then do start push on, because I do think that now that we have reclaimed this moving average 50, I do not think we'll close below it again, and I think this is part of the next cycle. If you're just looking at this moving average 50 here, when we was bullish since October, we didn't drop below it once. We used it as support actually, and no closures below it. No closures all the way below it until we hit that all-time high, and then we started to retrace, and that's when the closures came, and that's when we used it as resistance all the way down. So now we broke through it. It's a massively bullish sign for me, and I do think that once you do get some orders picked up down here, we're going to be off, and we're going to be shooting up and down like this and creating some new all-time highs over the course of the next 6 months, because I do think that this next 6 months is going to be very, very bullish. So if you're looking some orders to buy or fill up, ladder some down from 37,500 all the way down to 3,500, and I think you might get some nice orders picked up there. But this video is mainly today about Vechain. I want to just have a look at some statistics first, actually. We'll just have a look on CoinGecko, not Hero, Vechain. Ranked 21 out of all cryptocurrencies that are listed on CoinGecko. We have a price today of 8.6 cents. As we do know, the total supply is 86 billion, and currently in circulation is around 65.2. So that's a fair old chunk of the supply that is in circulation. And so far, if you're looking for markets where we're trading, probably the best place is, I mean, Binance is getting 11% of the entire market volume. OceanX, which is their own exchange against BTC, is getting 22% of the market volume, so that's massive as well. So a fair bit of volume on those two exchanges. But going back to the charts now, this moving average 50 is currently our resistance level. We've actually closed 2 daily candles above it, and we're actually set on that now. For me, I think we're going to stay above it and push on. Just a little bit of a bearish scenario. If the market does swing down to a downside, we've double bottomed here. Remember, if the market does swing down, you might pick some orders up here at around 7.8 cents all the way down to 7 cents. But if it does come down to that region, all I think it will be a wick, before we pick some liquidation up, and then we do push on and create some new highs in, well, local highs should I say. But for me, I can't see us dropping down any further than that, and definitely no closures. I think if we do come down to these regions, it will just be a tap of that area before we pick up our liquidity and push on. So if you're looking for buys, I would ladder them anywhere from pretty much 8 cent all the way down to 7 cent, and I think that could be a decent area for you to pick up some Vechain. That's on a daily time frame. I'm not going to really look at any other time frame throughout this video because I just think the market is on tenterhooks. I know we're close to the top of that range on Bitcoin. If we drop down to 35k, ultimately altcoins are going to drop, so you might pick some orders up down here. So let's see what goes on. If we can maintain this moving average and stay above it, and you're looking for some take profit regions, this is the first major area for me around here. We'll put a box on. So if you look all the way through this wick here, one wick there, had a wick here in the red, a wick there, that shows to me that is the first major level of resistance on my daily time frame, up at around 14 cent. If we just look on my weekly time frame, you'll see that that is an area too. We rejected off that wick there and rejected off that. I mean, it could even bring it down to this area here. We've got a few wicks that are pretty much within that trading area, but going back to the daily, I think that's the first major area to get through. We've also got 10 cent, which will be a tough area to get through, only because it's a psychological area. I think people, if they're looking to, I don't know, buy down here at 7 cent and think, right, where am I going to sell? They'll probably naturally look at 10 cent for an area to sell. Just looking at a money flow here, though, money flow is in the red, so that's negative money flow. So that's a bad sign, really. What we need is to push to the upside. As you can see with Bitcoin, we was in that red period for an entire accumulation period. We've had a little bit of green now, slightly turned red on this dump, but I think that once you pick up liquidity, that will turn back to green, and the money flow will be in the green. I have this strategy, or part of my trading style. I never ever go long on an asset until money flow is in the green, and vice versa. I would never, so I would always go short when money flow is in the red. So that's just something for you to keep your eyes on there. That's for long-term positional trade swings, really, but that's my technique. If I'm looking for a long, I would only long when money flow is in the green on the daily time frame, and we are trading above the moving average 50. That's my parameters. Doesn't happen too much, but you can get some really good long swings from that. So that's the USDT pair covered. In terms of where I think we're going to go over the course of the next 6 months, I think we're north of 50 cent. But let's just monitor price so far. We have seen that major parabolic growth. We did quite a substantial, nasty retracement. I mean, it was 80% from top to bottom. Uncalled for that. One major reason I think that was because a lot of new people to the crypto market this year was looking at Vechain and liking what they're doing. Ultimately, they all got shaken out on this massive dip, and I think a lot of them did buy Vechain. So that's been brought down. I've topped up, and it's definitely one for the long term for me. Looking at a BTC pairing, this is not looking the best, to be honest. I mean, we're still under this moving average 50, and in my opinion, I think that at some stage Bitcoin is going to go on a rally. When that happens, a Bitcoin dominance, which is currently at 46.86 cent, I think that is going to push up to around 52 or potentially 57%. If that does happen, the BTC pairings, the Satoshi pairs, will start to feel the pain. And I honestly think you can look down at this area. I mean, if you look at the top of here, where this wick is as well, that shows us a massive area of liquidity. I think you could pick some orders up down there. So that's anywhere around, I mean, what, 172 all the way down to 150 Satoshis, currently at 220. I think that could be a decent area for you to potentially pick some up. First major area of resistance is here. You can see it all the way through here. That is the first major area of resistance. We'll just change that box to red, so that shows that's resistance. So buy zone down here and then sell zone down here. So if you're looking for a bit of accumulation, maybe buy. Wrong tool. Where's my? There it is. Maybe if you're looking for a potential buy down here and then sell down here before we do start to push on. So that's a little bit of a setup on the Satoshi pair. But in terms of TA across the board, not much I want to dive into other than a couple of levels where you could buy and sell, because we do know we've had a nice relief round on bounce on Bitcoin. Still not materialised yet. We've come back into this trading area, and I think it's going to catch a few people out. I think we're going to drop, pick up some liquidity, and then start pushing on really hard. People still think that we are in a bearish situation where we're going to come down to test 20k, 15k and fucking 2k, where in my opinion, I don't think it is, and this is a little bit of a trap that's forming. We might get a wick down to the south side before ultimate sending up towards this month. I think this month's going to be very bullish and start of the next major phase. So that's going to do it for today's video. Some price analysis on Bitcoin and mainly Vechain there. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.